Stream's up.
Harris is up.
It's up. Live. Show 46. It's here. It has.
It's life.
I was going to talk about it. Wait, Todd. We got to say thanks to Todd for reaching out from Jet Up Terror, leaving us some nice comments as well.
Thanks, Todd.
Yep.
Thanks, man. Much appreciated.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Absolutely.
46.
Dude, I believe that was Todd Newton.
4.
Yep. Hey, guess what? It's Monday. Absolutely Monday. 24th.
It is Monday.
I'm gonna say 10 seconds because I just like the word, man.
10.
How's that?
5.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
No.
Hey everybody, welcome. Not Your Average Show. Mike, Corey here. May 24th, Monday.
Hello.
Lots to talk about on the Monday. I mean, lots of stuff happened over the last, 5 days since last show?
Yeah, some good news, some not so good news. Yeah.
So would you
Got some
say,
chatting with you.
all right, so there's like a preponderance of, I would say, really good news for one company. So that's definitely Virgin Galactic. Not so great news if you're in Sonic. We just covered one other Sonic player. I think it was Monday of last week, and then Aerion.
Yeah.
You know, things happen for them.
Yeah.
Tesla and VW got their EV acts together to both put out a tease of their performance models in the last week, which is kind of interesting. If you're paying attention to Formula One by any means, Monaco GP, Verstappen takes one home. That was pretty monumentous. And then also there was Indy 500 qualifying over the weekend. That was pretty cool. I paid attention to that one. So what else you got going on, bro? How's everything going?
Yeah, same old, man. Just tried to have a relaxing weekend, get some stuff done, and then back on a Monday. So
Back
good
to
to
the
go.
Mondays. Do you ever get a case of the Mondays?
Like every Monday. It's Monday, right? That's what you do on a Monday.
Yeah, but it's
You get a
office
case.
space. It's office
You
space.
get a case of the Mondays.
You get a case of the Monday. Hey man, you ever get a case of the Mondays? What? What's a case of the Mondays?
Hey man. The
What?
Bobs are here.
The Bobs are here. Oh God, the Bobs are here. That's a great line.
Don't make me talk to the Bobs.
Don't make me the red stapler. I have my red stapler here. The swing line, the guy that sets the building on fire. That was great.
Can you come in on Saturday?
Yeah. That'd be great. You know what's so funny? At the time that Office Space came out, I was living in Dallas, Texas, and that was supposedly shot just north in Plano, which was
So when you went to work in the morning, you would look to the field on
Yeah.
your right and you'd see people beating up a printer. Is that what you? Yeah. Okay, good. Yeah,
Pretty
awesome.
much.
Awesome.
All right, so without further ado, because we've really got nothing else to fill time with today, we decided before the show came on today, we decided that we would go in this order. First, we're going to talk to you about Tesla, and we're going to talk about Dub, then the boom that is no more, and then finally finish up with some great news with Virgin. So you want to take the floor, sir?
I would love
And,
to. I would love to. Yeah.
hold on a second. I got to collapse this one because you don't want to go on with that. Okay, here we go. Ready? Set, and
ready.
it's all you.
Ready?
It's all on.
Go.
Go.
Yeah. So good. So this next topic here from Popular Mechanics, I found just today, early today. Elon Musk says the Tesla Roadster will use rocket thrusters. No surprise there. However, he confirmed, as much as Elon confirms, that it will hit 0 to 60 in 1.1 seconds. Yep, you heard that right. That's literally 1 second faster than the other fastest road car, which I believe is the 918 Spider, the hybrid, I think. But anyway, there you go. Elon basically went right to you.
Yeah.
And he typed this guy back. So basically, Zach, he asked 1.1 seconds, 0 to 60 is insane. Is this true? Didn't put a question mark there, but hey, I won't knock him for it because Elon replied, yes, and that's with the SpaceX rocket thruster option package. It will be safe.
Did you just
but
go
very
grammar?
intense.
Did you?
Probably not wise for those with a medical condition, same as a hardcore coaster. Yeah, these are the things that go through my head when I read this. So yeah, I'm gonna say it. Yeah, is this true? It's like a statement rather than
No, I get
question.
it. Just make sure. Just make sure.
But anyway, that's me. But if you guys know, we just talked about the Tesla Roadster.
Yes, going to the
just
museum.
last show actually, because it's one of the prototypes is in the Peterson Automotive Museum in LA. right now, actually.
Correct.
And it's there and people can see it. And actually, I believe this guy Zach, actually he's tagged that picture from the museum,
I
so
believe,
it's
yeah,
pretty cool.
that's what he did.
Yeah, pretty cool. So there you go. I mean, that's and
Well,
I mean,
we have
Mike,
to
dude,
we have to
1.1
discuss.
second. We've talked about before, right?
Right.
How the thruster's gonna work.
Right.
He hasn't said anything about that.
Right.
But to have a car that's road legal, and again, the SpaceX package probably not going to be road legal, depending how it actually works.
Right.
But anyway, there, but anyway,
How,
to
okay.
have it go literally 1.1 second. I didn't say this to you first because I ran across it earlier, and I actually forgot to mention it till just now. But I ran across another article that was tagging off of this and said, should there be a limit for street cars, how quick they can accelerate, right? There's top speed limiters.
Whoa, no.
There's top
Nope.
speed limiters,
Mm-mm.
but then now if we're getting like near 1 second 0 to 60,
nope. I will say this. Okay, here
people
first.
can easily wreck themselves.
And people do. But here's the thing, right? So I look at this two different ways, right? I look at it the fact that any car that's going 0 to 60 in 1.1 seconds, if it's doing it by natural means, which means tires actually having to spin to a point to produce enough traction where there's enough torque and horsepower developed and transferred to the road surface where you can accelerate, then I don't see this being an issue. And to actually answer your question, should there be limiters? You could put in GPS limiters that say basically that feature is only unlocked on areas where it's acceptable to do so. Okay, but I think if you're a paying customer,
I'm just telling you there was a article I read.
Yeah, but that's fine. Okay, but here's the bigger point about this one, right? So he says, and this is from Elon Musk, an earlier tweet on June 9th in 2018. He says SpaceX option package for new Tesla Roadster will include 10 small rocket thrusters arranged seamlessly around the car. These rocket engines dramatically improve acceleration, top speed, braking, and cornering. Maybe they'll even allow Tesla to fly. So here's the thing, right? 0 to 60 through natural means, which means claw grabbing traction. Get it. And that's hard to control enough as it is. Throwing cold thrusters on this thing that would have to, at the same time as you're increasing thrust, I would hope automatically increase downforce so that it would allow the car to not take flight, because you're almost getting launched literally like you would off of a carrier deck. Now, sure, I granted that a lot of this could be just the jet package producing downforce and maybe a minimum amount of thrust, because the electronics in the Tesla Roadster obviously can propel it very quickly. But man, I don't know if I want to be on that ride before I've tested it, kind of thing. I mean, I don't want to do it.
I'd be curious to see the center of gravity of the Tesla Roadster, which would relate exactly to what you're saying, because if everybody's seen those old like muscle cars that are drag cars where they drop the clutch at the starting line and then they pop a huge wheelie, right? Well, that's because they got a lot of weight above the thrust line, right?
Correct.
Hence pulls that front end up and blah blah blah. So I'm talking about physics here, which doesn't really imply. We don't even know how the car really looks or where the thrusters go.
True.
But I mean, I'm just brainstorming here. But the 1.1 second is just awesome. I mean, when I mentioned that earlier, I think I'll find it in here. Yeah, the 2015 Porsche 918 Spider. That's at 0 to 60 2.1.
This is a full second faster,
right?
This is a full second faster.
Let's not say 2.1 is slow. That's quick. And here we go. 1.1 second. I mean, currently, I think what is the newest Model S Plaid Plus is 1.8. I think, is that right?
So yeah, but here's the thing. I just saw a rolling race the other day on CarWow where they took the Taycan, not the turbo, the new Audi e-tron, and they put it up against a Tesla. And the funniest part was the Tesla lost technically only because it's limited to 155 miles an hour and 0 to 60. But on perfect launches, it beat those two cars. It handily was beating them down to the mile point until they actually kicked in their second, speed on their transmissions and so on and so forth. So look, Tesla's, they've got everything that they need to make this happen, right? I'm just curious about how much those rocket thrusters can really do, where they're going to place, just like you. And yeah, the center of gravity, I don't think this thing's going to pull a wheelie, but I think that they're going to have to be very calculative, is because look, if you hit a button, right, and this thing just cold sprays you 85 to 175 pounds of downforce just before this thing hooks up. That might be enough to change the entire equation, right?
Yeah.
That could be.
For some other random food for thought, and I have not calculated this myself, I'm just reading the article from Popular Mechanics. They're down here talking about basic G-forces, because now we're literally, we're talking no movement at all to 60 in 1.1 seconds. So
right.
They're down here, and they've got the Futurism, another website that, again, haven't checked this, but they say they calculated the rocket boosted Roadster would produce roughly about 2.5 Gs on that jump to 1.1 to 0-60. Now, knowing a little bit about how that works on the human body, the human body can stand a whole lot of Gs for a short amount of time.
Yes.
And it's the longer those Gs are sustained, the less Gs you can sustain, the maximum amount of Gs.
Correct.
So honestly, 2.5 is, I'm not worried about that at all, because even people that might be at higher risk for problems, and I'm not a doctor, but just saying, if you're only gonna pop it, slam it down until you get to 60, then off. Literally, you're looking at 2 seconds, maybe the average person reaction times.
Yes.
You're, I think you're still fine.
Well, how about this? Even
but
even
it's
better.
Gonna be super quick though.
What about your zero?
Fast.
So if your 0 to 60 is 1.1, I'm gonna assume that your 0 to 100 is gonna be world record beating anyhow. Right after that, because you only got 40 more miles to go, and you're killing it, right? You're on top of it.
Yeah, even if these thrusters only operate long enough to get it to 60.
Yeah.
You're still slamming past 60. I mean,
you're gone.
I mean, so I don't know, man. It's crazy.
All right, so the Tesla Roadster is going to be pretty quick, but what's more interesting than that is the fact that it seems like if you're going to be in the EV category, though, you have to start talking about performance, right? And we've covered a lot of the VW stuff here. So remember, like, subscribe, and share, and help us out as the channel grows. Matter of fact, we are one sub short. What are we at? Like, I think we're at 189. We're just one short of 190 at this point, and it's been growing very, very nicely. So here's the thing, right? VW didn't want to get left out. So if you've been anywhere else and not been on our channel recently, what you may have missed or may not have missed is that they've been eagerly trying to play Tesla in this marketplace with their battery days. They have their ID.X 4, right? Now they have the actual ID.4 and the ID.3. So here's just some pictures to share with you. This is the base model ID.3, and it's a pretty car. By no stretch of the imagination is this ugly. And where this really speaks to me in this area is that I have a Volkswagen Gti, and it's this is basically the EV version of what's going to be the future of the Volkswagen Gti. They're not hiding it. This is exactly what it looks like. It's the same look of the car, basically around every corner. This is the future of the Gti, right? Wonderful.
Yeah.
But they couldn't just leave that alone, and I'm kind of happy that they didn't, because in all intents and purposes, I would love to get myself a Golf R, which would be the next step up from the evolution of the GTI in its current form. So, not to be outdone, Volkswagen has decided that in their infinite wisdom, they need a new model to showcase their EV future, and that would be they're what they're calling, and this is kind of interesting because I don't get the exact reason why they're calling it this yet, but they're calling it the ID.X. Okay, so this is the ID.X, and it's based off the ID.3. However, they immediately jumped out, according to Auto Week, and they said it's 440 pounds lighter than the ID.4, okay, which is their bigger version of their EV baseline, okay, and it has a drift mode.
Yep.
So I'm kind of at this point, and it looks like dollar for dollar, like what is going to be the Golf R version of our EV future. It's beautiful, gorgeous inside. They're going with the bright neon, it looks like yellow highlights, which is normally a place reserved for in the GTI that's usually red, and the Golf R that's usually blue. And they're saying that right now that adding it can hit 62 miles an hour in 5.3 seconds, which is right on line with where the Golf R is, maybe the GTI, right in between, so it's going to blur that line of performance, right? They're saying that it's going to output basically 329 horsepower, 27 more than the GTX, okay? And the new drift mode is actually based off the Golf Rs. So I am actually excited because this is actually the first, I would say to me, the first EV that I look out that's outside of a Tesla lineup, that if they had this today, I would go purchase it. The problem is, it's probably never going to make it to America because all the great
I was going to ask you. Yeah.
stuff stays in Europe. When it comes to this automotive group, we don't get it. So now here's the thing. For you as a Tesla Model 3 owner,
yep,
does this car appeal to you at all?
Yeah, I mean, sure. Part of full disclosure too, I've liked Teslas before I was able to get one, but
Right.
I ended up getting a 3. Reserved it sight unseen, but then obviously did a lot of research when we knew more about it, and then did end up getting one. But you remember, man, I was looking at other stuff.
Oh,
tons
yeah,
of other
I remember.
stuff. Petrol cars. I was looking at GT350 at the time. I was looking at different things. So I'm happy to look at other stuff. But anyway, looking at this though, yeah, I'm curious probably about wheelbase. It's probably similar to the current GTRs. Golf R, so that's something, an idea there. But I mean, the whole 0 to 60 miles an hour and 5.3, that's basically my car, right? I have the rear wheel drive single motor long range Tesla Model 3, so it's a little bit earlier version of the Model 3. Yeah, that's literally about the same kind of acceleration.
Sure.
I know from your car it handles quite well. My car handles quite well. Yeah, I know this is interesting to me. I'd be curious, knowing a bit again about EVs too, right? My next question obviously goes straight to how much battery range we're talking.
Right.
And then next question related to obviously performance, how much does the whole thing weigh? So but yeah, but as you were talking, literally that's the next thing I was gonna say. It was like, hey Mike, is this thing gonna come to America or not?
Probably not. That's the hardest part to accept, right? This to me, look, I like VWs. I like the fact that for having an average road going car that can be performance based, and I say only performance based, that it's not a performance car. It is basically a muscled up hatchback, right? And look, it's enjoyable to drive, and that has been one of the grand features of a GTI, and it looks like they want to keep that same sporty tradition going on through their EV lineup, which is good because for them, that is part of their branding and their showcasing of what their brand can do. If you can't afford the Audi, just get the VW version because it'll do roughly the same. And if you can't afford the Porsche, just get the Audi because it'll do about the same, right? So all along the line, and I don't need hypercar performance because, like you said earlier with the Tesla Roadster, there's not a place here where I could explore that safely and in good conscience know that I'm going to survive, right? But with an ID.X, hey, with this particular vehicle, and look, it's a handsome car based off the ID.3. It is beautiful.
Yeah, it's cool.
Okay, but I could drive that on the daily. Now, would I rather have a Tesla Model 3 performance version? Well, look, you're also talking, if this comes out for roughly $42,000 in Europe, because we already said it's probably not coming to America, right?
At that price point, it's cheaper than a dual motor Model 3.
Yes,
right?
that is correct.
So, yeah.
I would be interested to see how that really shapes for their marketplace. Because look, out of all the other manufacturers right now that have really, really impressed me with what they've put out in the EV field, and it's the Volkswagen Group by far that I think has the best tempo to keep up with Tesla, because they started with the Taycan and then of course they named Taycan Turbo, but whatever. Okay, they did do a double take on making that the next Audi, but it seems to me that the way that they're going about their EV lineup is probably the most considerate towards trying to make an impact at not playing catch up with Tesla and giving you the things like the ID.4, which is more of an SUV, mid family size with good range and good features, right?
And let's not forget the stuff we talked about as far as VW also getting their pipeline going, right?
Yeah.
Their battery pipeline, their factories, right? That's a whole nother thing to the whole nother facet to this EV market that's really coming into its own in the last few years. Is supply chain. Not to be overshadowed by all the shortages we have going on now, but regardless, VW's looking further out, and it's nice to see.
Now here would be the bad part for VW. They can't afford to miss the mark on their EV targets, because if they do, Dieselgate will come right back and slap them right in the face. They've already had too much bad press with all the diesels that didn't actually make the performance marks that they said, especially in their range. So if you think you had range anxiety in a diesel, well, you're going to probably have twice the range anxiety in a Volkswagen if it doesn't perform in the EV values that they say. So I hope that they get that all squared away and they don't have to hit that as a problem. But otherwise, I'm fairly impressed. Teased at the same time. Let's see if it ever makes it to American shores. Who knows? That's all I got.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, same. Yeah, it looks nice.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what they do with it, but again, I don't know if I'll ever see it over here stateside. So
May never see it. So anyhow, remember, folks, if you'd like to see more content like this, like, subscribe, and follow. And Corey's going to take us down the road of, well, they say, you know what? I have a great tagline, but I'm not going to use it yet. Because
I'll kick it off.
There you go. You can do it all you want. So here's Corey to talk to you about some supersonic news.
Yeah, cool. So you guys know we follow a bunch of different things here: cars, aviation, space stuff. And this one comes to us from just some local news for the Florida. Since we're in Florida, some local news from Aerion Supersonic. Aerion Supersonic, if you guys remember, we covered, is a company that had actually broke ground on a big facility down at Melbourne International Airport on the east coast of Florida there, and they were touting a few versions of their airplanes that would in the future be able to travel and bring supersonic travel to a bit back to mainstream. And there were some good developments there. They had actually contracts for people like GE, Boeing, and some I think it was some other players in the aviation industry. Let's see.
Who else was it?
FlexJet and NetJets too, right? And so, long story short, just there were some tweets and some information on their website from last week. Everything looked normal. They were talking about sustainability in terms of their pipeline for fuel. And then Friday, we get this article from Florida Today. Basically, it's some quotes from Greg Donovan, a guy the executive director there at Orlando Melbourne International Airport, basically saying he just received disappointing news. Aerion Supersonic didn't meet their capital investment thresholds necessary for continued ops, and they shut down the company on Friday.
Shut it down.
Shut down.
Boomer bust, baby.
He goes on to say that they were informing their employees literally right then, and that's literally all they had. That was just fresh off the press. This was Friday, just a few days ago. So we've covered Aerion ourselves on this channel.
Sure have.
Back in December, they posted where they had broke ground at Orlando Melbourne Airport. And there was a cool video there of him and the guy from Aerion and somebody from the airport. And it was pretty big news. We've talked about their designs before. We've shown some images of the campus they were building, had broke ground on there. And it's just kind of big, giant question mark right now.
Huge question mark.
Yeah.
I mean, look, so it just goes to show you how fickle the aerospace industry can be once you get outside the standard, printed format of what an airplane is supposed to do inside of its expectations, right? Supersonic has always been a tough business, and the only people that were really good at it was British Airways.
The Concorde,
The Concorde, right? They were the only ones that were really successful at it. Russia tried it. It didn't go very well for them. And the difference being is that at this level, it's hard to see a manufacturer like this not even get to the point where you could see a real prototype. Especially noticing the partnerships that you mentioned, right?
Yeah. It's a bit strange. Because like we mentioned, right, they had some decent partnerships, some good partnerships with big players in the industry, but also had some legit orders for tentative designs.
Correct.
And it just as they said, they didn't meet their milestone to start producing the AES-2 design next year. So that's just it. Yeah.
I wonder,
now.
And their and look, we're on their website right now, and here's the thing: there's nothing here.
Notice there's nothing on the website, nothing on Twitter either. So,
and when they say backed by Boeing and backed by GE, and I'm wondering if something else, might have spooked them as an investment, or maybe they wanted more private money, maybe they couldn't find their SPAC funds. I don't know what it is, and especially when we just spoke recently about Jet Up Terra going a completely different way. Because look, this is what happens with big ideas. Big ideas need big money. And either you make your ideas on a super grand scale where they can't survive, or you make them the appropriate scale where the right amount of cash keeps you alive to the next target, right? And it sounds like that's where this really went off the tracks for Aerion. And that's really sad, because having just spoken about another competitor that wants to turn around and give you $100 seat on an airplane 4 hours anywhere in supersonic transport, which is another lofty goal. Now it just makes you seem like, well, did that play something into this whole market strategy because maybe they just had a better on paper proposal? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, man.
It's a tough
it's a
one.
bit strange, and that because we've told you guys exactly what we know. There's not a whole lot more information about it.
No.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
All right, I do have to address one other thing, but because I just caught it. I know people are totally enamored with the fact of having something fly over Lower Manhattan. Okay, but it's really funny how they have this airplane in this particular pose flying out would have been maybe JFK or LaGuardia. Let me tell you, there ain't nobody climbing out over Battery Park like that in a supersonic jet.
Yeah.
That's not happening. Okay, I know Jet Up Terror uses theirs with a different image, and that type of stuff flying around Lower Manhattan. Absolutely, supersonic jet flying over Lower Manhattan, not on your lifetime, not at all. So just had to say that. But hey, it is what it is, right? Look, and it makes you wonder about. Well, not even wonder. It's a tough game, aviation. Aviation is not easy. People keep thinking you just throw it up in the air and it works, and it doesn't, because there's been plenty of successful designs that have gone on to have very short-lived careers in aviation because of one flaw or another, and before you know it, it's obsolete, right?
And isn't that kind of the interesting part, just like you're kind of alluding to, that there's a lot of good designs for whatever kinds of aircraft you might be talking about, and the aircraft might be mostly sound, but maybe they just trip up on the business end or something else, and it's done.
Here's a prime example. It had to have been maybe 15 years ago. Everyone touted the very light jet market, right? Diamond was in on it. You had the 500. You had so many other manufacturers. You had Cessna was bringing out their new Mustang, which actually did survive to marketplace. You had the Honda Jet. You had list after list of people that were throwing money at the very light jet market. And it looked like it was going to soundly take off. And then right in the middle of where it was going to make that big arc, economic collapse, right? Shattered the market, but out of the ashes rises, part ownership deals, and then people getting the net jets and other, different types of those types of aircraft. But the aircraft missed the market. So what was the older airframes that were already in place actually survived. Right, but the very light jet market didn't actually materialize in anything six seats or smaller. Some aircraft are out there now servicing that department, but it's much smaller than people thought. So it happens. It happens in the industry. Yeah, it is what it is, right?
Yeah, and as you're just like I said too, things out of your control too. It's just the way it is.
Completely. Yeah. Well, sad to see him go. Too bad. But we get to finish on a high note.
That's right. Yeah, take it away. So thanks so much for following. Please follow, like, share, subscribe. We appreciate all of the support. And we'll pass it off to Mike for a little bit of space news. Good news, by the way. Good news. And yeah.
I get to handle this one. So look, I have to start this. Well, I'm not even going to show you the video yet. Here's where I'm going to start. I'm going to start off with the fact that it's very hard to outlive the shadow of Elon Musk and all the accomplishments in the SpaceX world right now, and especially with other players like Jeff Bezos and Blue Origin doing what they do, and all trying to reach for milestones. And then you still have one tried and true competitor in this marketplace called Virgin Galactic. And they can be easily overshadowed by other achievements because they're going out of their way to prove a different way of getting into space. They're not going vertical or landing vertical. They're using Dick Rutan designs, and they're going out on the other edge of space, going back from launching vehicles from other aerial vehicles. And that goes without saying that they've had their setbacks too. Okay, they've had some setbacks in their actual entire program was shut down for a long time. But then you have to applaud what can ultimately just be called success. And when I say success, that's a happy moment. So what I'm going to do is just play for you guys this great clip that they have posted on their YouTube channel. And it's fantastic. We're just going to ride along with them for a minute because it's phenomenal. And I think everybody should see it. And then we're going to give it a quick talk. So here it is. This is Virgin Galactic getting into space. Or so I thought.
Is it playing?
It's playing now.
Okay, good. All right, good. Release. Yep.
Fire.
Yeah, it's super cool. That's aerial dropped.
Oh yeah.
Still rocket powered. Heads up to space. Comes back down. Lands fine.
You know, it would be great though. I want to experience this ride right here. this is where you make that parabolic arc up to going almost near vertical, and you watch how nicely this vehicle performs.
And then it rotates the.
You're going to space again.
Oh, yeah, it's so cool how it rotates.
And it's a beautiful aircraft.
Yeah, I like what they've done with the presentation to realize that the whole back half of the aircraft can be polished
Oh yeah.
in such a way that it just makes it look nice too. I mean, it is partly about that too. If you're willing
Look
to
at
take
those
passengers
views, though, man.
in space, man. Space.
You got a couple of great comments here. It's really fun.
Copy, Center, fully deployed, point Charlie complete.
So cool.
So cool. Yeah, you think?
There's a sea of Cortez over there. I can see the Baja Peninsula, right?
I love the graphics on the back of the thing that shows you the different stages as to how they got there. Almost like a hieroglyphic. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Amazing colors.
Oh, look at that. They got the X1.
Entry trim.
Happy.
Super cool.
Yeah. You got excited for them.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that landing there reminds me of old shuttle landing.
Oh, yeah. That is beautiful.
Yeah.
You couldn't ask for a better way for their day to turn out. And look, here's the tough part for them. Like I said, they have had their setbacks in this industry, and it's hard to be in a place where, again, you're constantly chasing a number one, like a SpaceX or something in that environment. And look, you could continually try and never reach a point of success. And that has been literally just like Aerion's attempts and so on and so forth. They didn't have anything successful come from their endeavors. Lots of companies try and many do not succeed, but to get an aircraft like that to do what it's supposed to do in space, that's a triumph. That's amazing. That's an amazing feat that everyone, and I'm surprised it got 0 airplay in most places. Like 0.
Yeah.
Like you would barely know it actually took place. I didn't see it. Did you? I didn't see it on mainstream news, did you?
I didn't see it live, no.
Nowhere. No one covered it. No one really paid any attention to it, yet they made a massive achievement and they took that thing and put it in space. And look, now the question is, are they going to be the first ones now because they've gotten this one going? Are they going to be the first ones to be able to commercialize space and give people the opportunity to fly up there for leisure?
I don't know, man. I mean, maybe.
I think they got a good
I'm
shot.
on the website right now. I know I think I've already signed up for this a long time ago.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know. I'm curious. Yeah, because I mean, this is certainly the way that I gather, right. This is certainly space tourism, right? Where you wouldn't get on a starship from SpaceX and just go up to orbit and come back down again. That's not they're planning on like going somewhere, right?
Right.
And landing somewhere else. This is, but legit, like Virgin Galactic is, you want to go to space? We could take you to space.
Absolutely.
And we'll bring you right back down to the starport and you're good to go. Like done. Same day. Yeah, so.
It's okay. So there's one thing I haven't done yet. I have not jumped out of an airplane, right? I've never skydived. And that's one thing that's on my list. But if this was with a feasible ticket, okay, if this was within reason, and I'm talking probably sub 10 grand or something like that for this experience, it might be one of those things on that list that, you check that box, made it to space, right?
Yeah.
That could be it. And they've got the ability to do this, which, look, I don't think when we were kids growing up, we kind of sat back and we had the opportunity to think about, well, wouldn't it be cool if someday you could make it into space, right? And then you think about, well, it'd be awesome if one day we could all make it into space. But this might actually be that one reality shot that you got. I could see myself, being 85 years old and being like, take my money. Like,
If I die on the way, whatever.
whatever, because it was worth the trip because I can finally say I made it into space, right? So hats off to these guys. Congratulations, the entire
Oh, yeah.
Virgin Galactic
Oh,
crew.
yeah, definitely.
You guys deserve it, and I hope you get all the accolades that you deserve because, like I said, it's tough to live in a world where there's so many other people achieving, and yet you stayed on your program and you delivered a completely different vehicle with a completely different result. And hats off.
But yes, totally. All the congrats. Thanks, guys. And they're very nice job.
Yeah, great.
Nice job.
I wish you guys got the I guess the accolades you really deserve because you do still deserve it. So that's without a doubt. I got nothing else. You got anything else?
No, man. Yeah, that was. Unless you want to just talk a bit, I didn't keep track of it. But unless you want to talk a little bit about F1, then that's all I got.
Oh no, I mean we could talk about that later because look, I mean here's the biggest takeaway was the fact that Red Bull conquered, and although Leclerc was supposed to actually take the Ferrari to the pole, they had a transmission problem from an earlier wreck. He wasn't able to actually go off pole. Verstappen went out, dominated the race. But you know, for a series that seems to be dominated mostly at this point, almost entirely by Hamilton and company, which what are you gonna do? You really can't do anything about it anymore because that's the way Formula One has kind of rolled for the last couple of seasons. But it was great to see somebody else come in and actually have a car that was a competitor. I look for more from the Indy 500 though, as far as, let's face it, between Formula One and Indy 500, they're two different types of racing. One has lots of passing, one's oval racing, the other one's road course. But there's not much to talk about. But hey, I'd love to hear people give us your opinions on the fact that if you ever wanted us to talk about more racing, we're more than happy to do that as well because it's an enjoyable activity for me to watch. So there you go.
Yep.
That's all I got.
Yeah, no, cool. But yeah, man, I'm good. I'm good.
Awesome. Well, folks, that time has come. I think we'll be back with you, I think, Wednesday. I think we're going to try to get another one going for you, if not sooner. But we'll be back online real shortly with some more news and information for you from the Not the Average Show. We appreciate all the attention. We appreciate all the subscriptions. And, hey, keep it coming because all the support in the world lets us come back and do more investigative journalism in basically looking at other people's websites and giving you our opinions. Didn't see that coming, did you? Hey, but it's professional opinions, and we like to give them. So that's about it. I'm enjoying my own time here today.
Excellent.
Excellent. All right, folks. Thanks for tuning in, and we will see you real soon. Take care. Have a great night.
Take it easy. See you then.
Peace. Bye. Oh, we still got to change this music to the new Harris Heller song, by the way.
Yeah.
I keep forgetting.
I'm still giving him credit, obviously.
Of course.
But yeah, we can.
He's got better music.
Is it the
now.
one you shared with
Yes,
me?
I did.
Freeform?
Yeah. Freeform, I think it is. Really good song. Very
Need to grab
very good.
that. Let's see.
All right, everybody. Take care. Bye-bye. Next time.
Okay, bye. Take care.